All right, so we've got everybody put out in their breeding groups. Everyone had their Farrowshire and their Ivermectin a little bit ago. Oh, he's coming up on me. What's up, boy? Here, go ahead and flip you around. Here's a better introduction, I guess. We'll roll into this of our new boy, Red, who is really interested. Hi. 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 Don't worry, I'm not here to steal your ladies. Try to get you a better view of him. Yeah, there he is. He is already very interested in his 3 ladies. I think he thinks I'm trying to steal his gals, but don't worry. I have no interest there, boyo. They're all yours. So, who he has, and I had to run into the coffee shop last night to try to decide last minute who to pair with who, because I got to looking at their papers and was a little different than I thought. So he has Ginger. He has got Donut here, and then he's got Biscuit over here. So we'll go ahead and get you a close-up of everybody. Hey folks, so quick pause here, right in the middle of your video. I know we're snapping away from him, but I realized when I was editing this last night that I didn't talk about quarantine, because as you know, we just got Red. Well, you know, if you saw that short and follow the channel, we just got Red, right? So obviously there's no way I quarantined him because we've only had him for a couple days. Now he did stay 2 nights on the trailer just to make sure that everything was good. You know, he got fed in there. He had an entire bale of straw. That short didn't show the full, there's a whole bale off to the side that he spread out and covered the entire bottom in like 6 inches of hay, or straw. So it's not like he was just having to sleep on a hard floor. He had tons of pumpkins in there. He got fed. He had a bowl of water in there, which I had to fill 2 or 3 times a day because, you know, pigs dump water. But not necessary. Ginger and Biscuit are attempting to decide who's in charge. It will be Biscuit. Biscuit will be in charge. I'm just glad I didn't get knocked over. Anywho, sorry, back to this. So, didn't quarantine him. And that is not, I'm gonna fall, not the pig's fault, my fault. I didn't quarantine him, and here's why. Okay, this is not something I would normally do. This is not something I would recommend to normal folks, right? You get a new pig on your farm, quarantine him. This fella, he did get Ivermectin before he left the trailer, and he got a shot of Farrowshire, and he was fantastic about it. Just let me, well, you know, squirt the Ivermectin in as we do, but then let me poke him with the needle for the Farrowshire, no issues. And he had that for the first day when he got here. So that then, and I know Chantel wormed him, or dewormed him, so we recovered there. He got a double dose. He's good. And he has been in quarantine. This is the big kicker for me here. He's been in quarantine at Chantel's place since she picked him up. She picked him up from somebody that, so this is a pig that she bred and then sold as a piglet, and then someone was getting out. So she got him back and she put him in quarantine, okay? He has been in quarantine on her farm away from all of her other pigs for a little over 30 days, I think closer to 45 maybe. And Chantel, if you watch this, or Peyton, you guys can comment the exact time frame if you want. No pressure. But so he's been in quarantine away from all of their pigs for my normal quarantine period or a little more. So I'm not that worried. This is still something that, like, you know, soil microbes are different from farm to farm. There could still be a problem. And I'm willing to risk it at this point because I know she's not currently having any issues on her farm. We talk quite a bit. She's not currently having any issues, and he hasn't been around any of her pigs. So he's been around them. So there are potential sources of contamination that could have happened. You know, their boots, their buckets, all of that. But I'm not worried about it because they're not currently having issues. I trust them, and he's been in quarantine already. And I'm willing to just risk it. I need to have my litters on time this year. So we're going ahead and just throwing him in, and that's what we've done. Not something I would normally recommend. But this is a special case scenario. I'm doing it and just crossing my fingers. We'll know in 30 days really if there was an issue, because then other pigs would show symptoms. But he looks fine. So we're gonna roll with it. Let's hop back over to the video. Yeah, mister. Yeah, he's pretty friendly. I mean, I am around a bunch of new gals with him, so I expect a little bit of weirdness. Yeah. But I said, we've got Ginger. Got our big gal Biscuit. I hope he's tall enough to get the deed done with Biscuit. I put him in the L. They've got quite a bit of grass in this front end, but I put him in here because of all these pumpkins. And then they'll move out into that bigger paddock over there because this does border the weaning yard, which I'm not excited about because a couple of the piglets in there are hers. Ginger doesn't have any piglets and Biscuit doesn't have any piglets, so I'm not worried about that. But I don't like that she's that close to her weaning piglets. So she's already been back and forth on the fence with them. So that's quite frustrating. But fingers crossed, Red gets the job done. He's very, very interested and has been attempting it. Let's go look at the other ones out in the field. As I'm walking out to the field here, I thought I'd go ahead and show you these gals. So we have left Cero and Uno in the farrowing yards down on the end because she still needs another week left before I wean her piglets. But both of them, because they're both going to get culled, so they'll go out with the feeders once everything's completely settled and done, and then they'll get culled. They're ones I decided not to go ahead and keep. Down on the end, she has just had, that's Uno, and Uno has just been honestly kind of a hag. She actually ran me out of her pen the other day after catching 2 of her piglets, which a little protective, fine. But since then, I've tried to go in there, so like you can see all that straw is in front of her house. I tried putting the straw in her house, and she ran me out. Couldn't even get it all the way in, so she had to carry it in the rest of the way. And that's not with me being scared. Like, I've been around pigs for years now. I bonked her on the face, and she backed up, but I shouldn't have to hit a pig in the face to get her to not run me out of the pen. And after she circled back around the shelter, she started to make another pass at it. So that's not okay. That's not, in IPPs, we want a nice docile temperament. So that would have been, even if she was a great looking gal, otherwise that would have been an immediate cull here. But she's not. She had 4 piglets. She looks very, very coony, and she's aggressive. So a bunch of strikes against her. She's going out of here. And then, sorry, I was looking at her and talking, raised you guys up. And then Cero, she's not real great looking, and also only had 4. So we're not going to keep her. She's very coony looking. We're going to cull her also. So we'll cull both of those, and maybe we'll process them on farm and work on making some of that charcuterie that we learned at the hand hewn place. Maybe we'll do a scald and scrape party at the farm. I don't know. If we do, there'll be a video, so just keep your eyes peeled. All right, and I'm heading through the gate here, and I don't want to like bypass and make you guys think that I only ever show you the nice parts of the farm. So the area right in front of the gate here into paddock number 7. So this is the first gate as you go out where we back the trailer in through and everything. This area grows up to and see, I haven't added any straw or hay out here. This is just the grass that's in here in the summer. This front area I have not gotten to be able to grow back with fescue or anything else that's long term. It just keeps coming up, as like you can see on the little hillock right here that's not as badly damaged because I don't drive a trailer over it, and the pigs don't stand there waiting for me. It's just all crabgrass and Bermuda, which then dies out when it gets really, really cold. You can see some fescue clumps coming through, not enough. So, and then to top that off, I feel like I jinxed myself after that last video where we'd kept them in for 22 days. I moved them over to this paddock from there, right? And then like as soon as I move them, they start pushing around some of these clumps. So they did that in here too. So I've got a few clumps moved around, nothing bad. It was pretty cool. One of our pickups yesterday, Shirley Tipping, if you're watching this, it was neat talking with her. I was really exhausted and kind of out of my mind for most of the pickups yesterday. Shouldn't be doing that kind of stuff that tired, but has to be done. That's the way farms are. But she'd raised normal pigs, and she was pretty amazed to see only that much damage. While I've been raising the IPPs for a few years now. I was like, oh, this is terrible. This is so much damage. And you can see it's still all grass cover. There's just these couple little areas that to me, who doesn't normally have these problems, was very frustrated with, and not something I wanted to show off. But she understood what it's like. She's also raised standard pigs and has seen the damage that many pigs, all those feeders, will do in such a short time period right after a rain like we had. So Toast did not want to cooperate. He got halfway out from being sorted off and then turned and ran back. So he would rather still be back in there, even though he's not being of any use. Oatmeal went back into heat yesterday. Just noticed that. And she's actually being a jerk. Here's another spot right in front of gates. You can never keep in front of gates from becoming muddy. But there's Payday out with his gals now. He has got Dottie, Oatmeal, and Dose. Dose is hiding in the shelter. Not because Payday is now running Oatmeal around, but Oatmeal's in heat. I expect that. There's a bunch of shrieking, and I thought we'd wind up catching some shrieking on camera for you guys and have to explain that while you're listening to pigs screaming. So Payday's not running her around and causing them to scream out here. Oatmeal is being a jerk in heat, and she is just harassing the heck out of Dose and attempting to mount her. And Dose has no desire for that, so doesn't swing that way. Here, she's probably gonna go in and do it now. I'll stop talking so you can actually hear her grunting. So this is pretty common when you introduce two sows back together. They've got to establish who's in charge. And at the moment, who's in charge is absolutely going to be Oatmeal. Oatmeal is the biggest pig in this group. She will absolutely be the herd matriarch. There's no doubt about it. Her mom is always the herd matriarch in whatever group she's in, and Oatmeal has actually kind of started to take the title from her. So, and you can see these two fellows are going to be, they're going to be issues along this fence line together, so I'll have to keep an eye on them. But that fence is very hot still, especially now that we've had some rain. It is quite shocky. They have both shocked themselves and been moved off the fence. So tomorrow when Toast is hungry, we'll move him over to the quarantine yard and then figure out what we're gonna do about him. He's non-functional, so we're gonna probably just have to process him. And I'm not looking forward to it. They're just gonna be idiots now. Yep, there you go, he got shocked. And there he got shocked. There we go. Yeah. Now he gets shocked again. Now he gets shocked again. There. This is what happens when you get shocked by a fence. It's not pleasant. I wish I could get him to... He won't follow me out of the gate. Maybe now that he's going down there, he will. I'm going to go ahead and call this video and see if I can't get him to follow me down where I want him to go and get him over to the quarantine yard so he doesn't stress all night. Beyond that, folks, there we go. We have got everybody moved around. We ran all our COIs on our gals so that everybody is within the 2 to 3.5% COI on their litters range. And then I'll run for breeding pairs to figure that out later. It was already kind of a late night running into a coffee shop. So yeah, thank you guys for following along and seeing what our farm does and keeping up to date with us. We do actually have, as of me making this video, we do have one breeding boar piglet left available. You can see him on our Facebook page or Instagram, or we've shared him to all the IPP groups. And then we also actually have 5 feeder piglets, 5 feeder barrels left available. So if you have any interest in that and you're honestly anywhere, that if you're close by and you're willing to come to the farm, great. If not, we do deliver. We charge for delivery, so it's $1.50 a mile one way from our place, so to wherever we're taking him to. We just track the mileage to it, and then you get a total from that. If you're outside of Missouri, you'll require a CVI, so a certificate of vet inspection to cross state lines. Those are $50 a piece, whether it's for breeders or piglets or feeders, it doesn't matter, because the vet charges me the same rate. If we do over 5, then you get a discount. So 5 and up, the vet gives me a discount, so I can pass that on. So just talk with me about that if you're interested. Beyond that, thank you to our Patreon supporters, Hunter and Ashley Raymond. Super appreciate you. If anyone else has any interest in that, just hop on over to the Patreon, see the stuff we've got going on over there, and feel free to check it out. Beyond that, if this is your first time watching and you're interested in following along and see what the farm does, hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, hit that like button. Y'all have a great rest of your week. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving.